All right. So here I am. I think it creates a brand new channel. So hopefully people see this. I wish there was a better way to know if my audio was working when I'm streaming without actually listening. So let me go over here. Okay, I'm trying to actually go to the channel. For some reason, YouTube's not loading the page for me. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, that sounds like normal audio to me. Okay, excuse me while there's like dead air. I'm just going to go post everywhere that clearly had to restart. I'm editing the messages I put out. Just want to edit the post. Thank you. Save. Well, clearly the advice I was given about just unplugging and replugging the camera, not good advice. I think they might have been talking specifically to a mic, which I don't know if my laptop actually. Hello, Anson. I don't know if my laptop setup, even though I plugged in a mic, I don't even know if it recognizes my mic. I might just be still recording with the audio on the camera. I don't know what to do there. Again, not a tech head. And I'm gonna repost this with post. Posting. Oh boy, that's always fun, isn't it? Yeah, it's also the problem with social media. You have to run around. As soon as you have something you're supposed to do, then you got to run around and fix it everywhere when something goes wrong. So it sounds like my audio is working. I checked, and if there's any problems, please speak up quickly so I can embarrass myself for my lack of technical facility in front of everyone. All right. And of course, it does some like stupid little weird truncation of the URL, so I can't just easily share it on Instagram. So unfortunately, I guess I'm not doing it. All right. A great way to waste about 8 minutes right off the bat. But anyway, so I think my audio is better now. I'm happy you're subscribed. I had pens ready to go to ink, and I dropped everything as I had to deal with the sound. Hey, Silv. I hope it sounds all right now, Silv. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I dropped it right there. Yeah. So these are the ladies working for Beatrice. Let me start off by inking this gorgeous lady here way in the foreground. How's the camera angle here? That looks not too terrible. I just don't want to bang my head too much. I'm using my usual. I think everyone here is going to be a regular because we had the tech issue. I'm using my usual Oto 01, although for a smaller head, I would be using the 005. 3, there we go. So much different line qualities, super fine, fine type of situation. So for the smaller faces, I'll start with the finer marker, but for this extremely comparatively large face, I think this is the appropriate width of ballpoint ink pen to start with. There we got an eye done. I didn't screw it up. One of the things I noticed is a lot of things that we take for granted now, even though they might be somewhat out of fashion, is like the super weirdly fine eyebrows we get nowadays. A lot of times they just didn't bother back then. It was just like what you dealt with. The idea of having that high quality a mirror up close and plucking or having someone else do it. I don't think it caught on to the degree that current fashion culture has. Like the weird way everything shaved, trimmed, bleached. A lot of that just wasn't there. Kind of want some of the light hitting that the monocle here. Yeah, do the only black area on the monocle I'm doing is the outside area. A nice heavy line going around because it's a mechanical object. So what I might do with this is I might just ink it the way I'd normally ink it and then go over with thin white lines. That might even lighten further when I color it. Or I might just render it with super fine lines and see if that does the trick. This is the kind of thing I might end up having to redo after. I was thinking about Bowie when I was drawing this one. I figured that would be a little prehistorical, but accurate for the look. There's a lot of chatter here. Here we go. Audio is good. Yay! Death Tally is not available other than like in. Oh, did she action already? Here we go. Do, 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 do. Okay, cool. Right, I don't have to deal with that conversation. Talk amongst yourselves. Um, Now let me try and tackle that eye. That I'm going to grab the 005 line. And I'm going to avoid solid blacks with an idea that the light's hitting at a bit of an angle. I'm just going to do super faint lines. So that's slightly less intense value will allow that to recede a bit or appear that it's behind the monocle. I might even go, just a highlight in here and then just increase the shadow. That's what I'll do. I'll just increase the shadow here a bit. A little bit of shadow there. Actually seems like she's staring up this way, so I'm going to tweak that eye a bit, I think, when I get there. They're doing little corrections and stuff. No, I should do that eyebrow first, I think. It's going to be stubble, so I'm going to stipple that a bit or lightly crosshatch the stubble on the side of her head. Pull it that way a bit. here. Yeah, this is yeah. If this was just going to be reproduced as it is as a commission or something, I could go with dark gray. But since this is actually going to be digitally colored my usual way, I want to have the control over the black ink. I can take a black and have it maintain into the color phase quite easily because I've been working with it a long time. If I do a gray ink, it's harder to separate because of the values. I'd have to do a colored ink. Traditionally in comics, they would do a red ink or a marker to indicate lines or something you wanted held or having something done with them special. So if this was a, say, 90s, early 2000s era DC book, I'd just do, and I wanted this as a color hold. I would ink inside the eye in red and hope that they were able to sort it out. A lot of times they screw up on that stuff. And I got the shirt here. All right, working on the figure. I should actually be jumping onto another phase of finishing the hair. Yeah. 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 The Nazis, they wreck everything. Just like they are now. I'm trying to have that kind of like slick black glossy hair that was so in style. Kind of like Peaky Blinders. You know, bring the hair back a little heavier line there. I'm gonna have to come back in here with a 3. Get those line weights popping a bit. So that's like first head. I'm gonna finish the rest of her stuff later. Jump onto this face. This face looks fun to do. Both these faces actually, but I wonder if I can do this one with the 1. I should start with the 005. Let me grab the 5 just to start with anyway. dark eye makeup here. Yeah, those photos from that period before the Nazis took over. My God, what we lost culturally, so many levels. There's a movie called Cabaret. Shows a lot of that. Michael York, Liza Minnelli. Working on a pretty coarse vellum board. At first, I thought it was the Eon, but it's actually toothier. I think this is Strathmore. I prefer the Eon. In general, I find it's just a higher quality surface to work with, more consistent. But every once in a while, that Strathmore tooth just sits really lovely with the way the ink hits it. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm not sure what to necessarily chat. Like a big part of this was Silv was like, we're bouncing around ideas for what to do for a pinup. And there's the idea that I'm going to be drawing, hopefully in the next year, I'm going to draw a B1 shot. It depends on everything. Everything depends on schedules and everything. But I'd want to do it around this type of period, pre-World War II, maybe set in France. I think we talked about, excuse me, setting it in France, being her then partner, run afoul of some weird cultists who think that by kidnapping B, they can achieve something, and it doesn't go the way they planned. So hopefully I get to do that soon. We've been talking about it for years now. I think it's entirely now dependent on us being able to carve time in my schedule so I can write and draw it. Which is a certain amount of honor of trust that Silv would let me write her characters, even though I'm not really, making any sort of big character changes. in the story. It's pretty much almost like an action adventure riff on the characters getting to do something weird. I ended up looking at a lot of period lingerie before drawing this, and a lot of it was very, very, very tame. I mean, occasionally you'd get a really nice piece that would have some nice lace and stuff, but for the most part, I mean, these were working girls, and apart from the packaging, when the clients would come into the place of work, a lot of these girls didn't wear their costumes or their work clothes, lingerie. I don't know what to call it at this point. A lot of them didn't wear it a lot. It was mostly, to get the guys in the room to do what they actually came to the bordello for, or brothel. And I personally like the idea of Bea working as a madame, because she wouldn't put up. I mean, she's a supernatural, powerful entity. You don't fuck with the girls. I kind of like that part quite a bit. Have some hair coming down through there. She looks a little cross-eyed there. Let me pull that eye out a little bit more here. That's better. Hard to get the sense that her knee is against that cheek, so push in the corner of her mouth a bit. So hopefully that reads properly. Granny knickers. Yeah, it's well, there was a clear difference between like everyday women's underwear and fancy stuff. It was mostly material, so it'd be a lot of the same cuts, not much support. Um, a lot of them looked like just fancier slips more than anything else, or slips with half-assed cups and straps. And went and included some corsets, because gotta draw a corset, and then I did some pasties on the one back here. And then there's one lady back here who doesn't have breasts at all, but something extra, because that was pretty common at the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 05. I'm going to do like kind of like mock lace. I'm just going to scribble, overlap the scribbles. It should read as lace. The hair is going to be easy, so I think I'll jump over this one, because I drew this face to look a little distorted as a bit, because like not all the ladies working there were the most gorgeous. It would be so easy just to make them all just stunningly over the top attractive women. But I figured some of them would look just a little different, so some of these I kind of like made their face structures a little wonky on purpose. Hopefully that doesn't distract too much. Like a little bit of a David Lynch bordello or brothel. Interesting faces to draw. I mean, there's some pretty terrible stories about how prostitutes are treated through history. I don't necessarily want to relitigate that. not litigate, you know what I mean, like go over it in extreme detail. Because I have a gut feeling that type of people who generally would follow me in my work um, would kind of get them on the left side of history and dealing with the stuff that women had to deal with when they were sex workers at different points in the past would be kind of complicated and negative. That went on really. I think I shouldn't have drawn that with the 3. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they were. Yeah, the spread of sexual transmitted diseases at the time went everywhere, and a lot of times they blamed sex workers, but a lot of times sex workers got it from the lords who they served, or the wealthier people who had more, more likely going to have more sex partners than many of the women working at the brothels. Actually, when it comes down to it, there was a thing of certain wealthier gentlemen who would literally go out every night to a different brothel. So if one of them caught, syphilis, everyone got it. I mean, literally everyone, because everyone shared the same prostitutes and everything. Yeah, this mouth is too heavy. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that after. But I think it works all right. Darken the eyes a bit. There we go. Ear. God, I'm not talkative tonight, am I? I worked pretty late last night on Conan, so and then I got up early to finish penciling this for inking today. Yeah, it's yeah, it was, and of course the women were blamed, not the guys. I mean, a lot of historians will run around and they'll start forgiving historically powerful men for catching syphilis under the weird guise of it. Well, it's what they did, as opposed to like maybe they shouldn't have. But the world is what it is, right? All right, so three front faces are done. How are we doing time? 7:45. All right, cool. I think I'm gonna ink all the faces. I might even go and do the skull. If I'm maintaining my focus reasonably well, and that should be tonight's video. Just oh my god, that's 8 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and that's when the count comes in. It goes 8 sex worker faces. Yeah, sorry, couldn't resist. Oh, cool. Um, all right. So far, just so you know, um, I make mistakes when I'm inking, and I've learned over years. Let them sit to the end. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. So in here, I want so far. This eye is too big, so I'm gonna trim it a little bit here, so it's looking more at the viewer. I want all the eyes looking at the viewer. Let's push this back a bit. This lip is pulling down here too much. So I'm gonna paint some of this out and put some highlights in the bottom lip there. I think that other than that, that's fine. Some of the shadow on the underside of the jaw is going to be pushed a bit when I do some more rendering. Then I'll decide if I want to remove some more of that. The mouth. This one's face is going fine. There's hair in front of that, but yeah. Yeah, gotta do 4 more faces. All right. Yeah, the subscriptions have been going up quite nicely lately. Just with my limited ability to just post once a week. I get, again, for me, the big limitation is time and tech knowledge. I think part of what I'm going to do in the new year is I want to. I was hoping to do it this year, but it's just like everything just got so crazy with all the different projects I'm doing that I just could not find the time to do it. But I want to find someone who will be my tech guy for videos. And I know that's stupidly expensive, so I want to make sure that I can afford it when it comes down to doing that. And who will edit together longer videos into something shorter. Like if I decide to teach something, like why ink a certain thing a certain way, or how I approach certain things, basically educational videos, but still just do the live ones like this. But I'd like to have a host and then have an additional artist or 3, and we can talk about shit that's relevant to artists that you guys might like hearing too. So that's the long-term goal. Again, if any of you guys have any questions at any point, just feel to ask them. I may not be able to spend a lot of time on them while I'm live, but from past videos that if you bring something up, let's say talking about, Barry Windsor Smith's Monster or another book, I'm more than happy to talk about any of a number of things. I like talking. I think I'm pretty good at it. My otherwise silence right now aside, this is pretty much a straight up inking video, so I don't necessarily have to explain myself as much as I have in the past because I've done a few of these right now. Such a small face of the ink. That's the central figure of the piece. Tiny, tiny little face. Yeah, give her braids. That'll be a little. Silv made a point of saying that the character's supposed to have braids all along, and somehow, I'm sure, at some point I caught it, but despite drawing her multiple times in the past, I didn't give her braids. So hey, I'm going to give her a whole bunch of braids with like longer strands of hair in the back here. So braids up and everything. So it'll be kind of cool. Oh, you're right. Oh wow, it's actually loose. I think it's slid. Tighten. What I can actually do is I can move it up and then down a bit, so we're more straight on there. I'm not about to hit the camera now when it's way up there. Actually, if I draw up here more often, I can lean in and draw more comfortably, the way I normally do. For anyone who's also a bit of a Godzilla fan, I watched the first couple episodes of Monarch, and apart from it's kind of doing the usual big mystery TV series, make it loud and mysterious, but really loudly mysterious. The cast is really good. Special effects are pretty good. You get to see a couple of monsters already. Some of the stuff is pickups from the movies. I think this is set in 2013, so it's an alternate reality now with kaiju and Kongs running around. But I enjoyed it. I will tune in for more, even though after 2 episodes, I would like to have more have happened. Considering it's we already know ultimately what Monarch is, so I should just get on with it. Hopefully that makes sense. I want more of the monster stuff right off the bat. Give me all the monsters, baby. I find braids really weird to draw. I've actually looked up tutorials for drawing braids in the past, and oh my god, they're just a nightmare. So I just try and think of those like challah loaves where they just kind of cross over 3 strands of dough. And I know that's definitely not how braids are put together, but it's how I draw them. I like the idea of like her having all this hair and then it's like looped up behind, and then there's some like deliberate strands or thinner braids coming down, so it becomes a really elaborate, almost like a crown type of hairdo. And we're not doing the Princess Leia hair, the buns. This is all pulled to the back, and it's all going to come down here. We're not going to see that part. Who knows if the first B one shot I do with Silv does well, maybe I'll do one with her running the brothel. That could be fun. I have to go through and get some of this stuff some limelight too. All right, 2 heads left to go. How are we doing? 8 o'clock. All right, I think I'm doing pretty good. Hang on. Well, you're trusting pros to do it, their job. So I mean, there's nothing to be um, made about you maintaining the position you want as a creator. I mean, if you're trusting what me and Gab are doing, then I mean, hopefully we're doing our best work for you. Giving this girl hair bangs. Right into her eyes. And a big ball of hair here, tumbling down loose around her shoulders. God, I love brushes. One more head to go. Oh my gosh, I am doing good time here. I think. I just realized I want to get some line weight in here before I forget. There, that's a little bit better. Feels like it pops a little bit more. Even though she's blonde, I want her hair to have like real structure. A lot of times you can get away with not giving a lot of structure to blonde hair because it's so light. I'm going back in these girls because I was kind of surprised how quickly I went. So I figured, I can go and add a little bit more here. Probably do some brush work there too. That girl's left. All right. Oh God, I love Kniff. Well, hey, yeah, I'm really happy you liked Second Coming Trinity. I noticed there was a mistake I caught they made in the first issue. They're supposed to put some lettering on the signage. I told the editor about it. Looking at the trade, still not there. Darn. Oh well. But other than that, it's I think it turned out really nicely. January we're starting arc 4. I got the first 2 scripts. I've actually done a first pass on laying them out. But I always wait for Mark to basically. Mark always does rewrites, and I don't want to confuse the issue by giving Leonard pages that he may have to redraw. So I hold off delivering pages till Mark goes, yeah, these are all good, which doesn't necessarily mean that the rewrites are done. It just means that he thinks they are at that point. And then we have to make sure we don't get confused over what's the legitimate way to go. Um, there we go. It's a little more structure to it, like almost like a big basket of amazingly articulated braids. That's a 3. I want the 005 again. There it is. Her eyes are just a little small to trust with me in a 1. You know, they're barely above being dots. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Here I might as well do the pasties with the danglies on them. I'm sure there's a term. This okay? Good. Sometimes I really start getting into the drawing while I'm on camera, and I forget that I have to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. I think there's a few times where I've actually drawn completely off the camera on the board. It's like, see the camera, I'd be like drawing down here. So you see the top of the pen moving, shadow, and you wouldn't see any drawing. Not good, not good. Yeah, fix that. I do cross hatching. It's part of me that wanted to pull out the rubber stamp for that, but it would feel almost a little too mechanical with all these organic shapes, I feel. Yeah, there we go. All right, so there's all the heads inked. Of course, I'm gonna ink everything as we get to it. Saying this love C here. I gotta do all the details here. All the architecture, and I said I was going to do the skull above tassels. Yeah, tassels. There we go. I threatened to do the skull floating above her head, so let me do that. The idea that she's a reaper, so death is kind of omnipresent with her. I kind of want to get the idea across that it's almost like an aura floating above her. I'm trying to do almost like a wispy skeletal presence here. See what I'm doing now? Kind of this weird kind of like aura just hovering above her head. Misty, smoky type thing. There's an aspect to what I did with the black aura, the chaos aura around Elric's sword, Stormbringer. I think this is all going to be done with a line to be of a piece with everything else here. God, I love how tired her face is, but that mouth is bothering me. Just gotta move that in there. When I get her hair better drawn in, won't be as obvious what's needing to be changed. All right, well, that's all 8 women's heads and the one death head up here. Let's take a tweak for a bit. Why don't I go for another 2 minutes of tweakage? Cool. Yeah. So next week I'm going to be working on Conan again. Again, unless someone comes in and says, "Yeah, I want you to draw, Hellboy or something for the food bank." At which point, then I'll do that. Doesn't have to be Hellboy, although I do enjoy drawing Hellboy. I think I do an okay Hellboy. Yeah, so Conan next week, unless someone wants to help out my local food banks with that. Same time. Hopefully, there won't be a weird audio thing. We managed to avoid those for a bit. So yeah. Wasn't very chatty tonight. I worked pretty late last night. Got up early today, worked this morning pretty early. So it's a lot of not sleep, and I want to do a lot more work tonight before I go to bed. All right. So everyone, hopefully I'll see everyone next week with no technical issues on my end. And we'll have a good stream with either Conan or me doing Food Bank Commission. Have a great week, everybody.